Hi, welcome to Tea Time on ATMC-TV. I'm Rebecca Albin, Executive Director for the First Tee of Brunswick County. Join us as we visit one of Brunswick County's finest golf courses each month, where we learn about the course and its layout and get updates on the newest golf fashion, golf fitness, and golf equipment. If you're ready, let's go. Welcome to Tea Time on ATMC-TV. I'm Rebecca Albin. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Cinghiale Creek, home of the First Tee of Brunswick County. Terry, thanks for being here with us today. This is where we work all the time. How incredibly lucky are we to be here?
Fabulous, fabulous. Great place.
Well, you've been at the First Tee chapters throughout the network. Tell us how Cinghiale Creek and the First Tee of Brunswick County compares.
Well, I think the most dynamic thing that I've seen here is the volunteer base. Where I came from, First Tee of Fort Worth, First Tee of New Orleans, our volunteer base was very small, and I had to basically get PGA pros to help teach all the classes. Here, a couple, 200 to 300, and then over 120 some odd coaches, and they're all volunteers. Retired folks, military folks that have retired, people who moved here that had businesses that are just relaxing and want to do things for the good of the community, for the children and golf. And that's the most striking thing that I saw when I first met the Petries, was the volunteer and how big it is, and it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. It's incredible. It's unbelievable to have that population of people to draw from. I think the other thing that sets us apart is the fact that we have Cinghiale Creek, which is our own facility, 28 acres now, that's 100% for the kids. So essentially we have access to do anything that we want to do. Talk to us a little bit again about our facility here and what you envision in the future as we move forward being able to do.
Well, in the First Tee chapters, if you have your own facility, you are a notch or two above the rest of the chapters, because it is dedicated just for the participants, and that's what we have here. We have 3 holes and multiple tees, which make it basically a 7,000-yard golf course if they wanted to play. Then we have a driving range. We have the Wii Links for the 5- and 6-year-olds inside the driving range with the mats, and then we have 2 large putting greens, and then the learning center here with the computer labs and the indoor hitting facility. You know, we can play games and all that. I think it's Dead Solid Perfect or whatever the machine is called, but it's really good. But and then, of course, across the street, you know, the Tom Watson Design Par 3, which is going to come online this spring. 9 holes, open-ended driving range on both sides, 450 some odd yards. Dustin Johnson could even come in and keep it in our driving range, which is fabulous. And so the lesson plans then can all be built around the facility, from the player, the par, the birdie, the eagle, and even the ace. And so the opportunity to explore golf in an environment which is safe and clean and conducive to the life skill component is just fabulous.
Absolutely. And again, going back, talking to the volunteers, our volunteers have donated all the computers in the computer lab. All of the work that went into that was donated by volunteers. We have volunteers that mow our greens. We're now up to, I think, 14 greens and a ton of tee boxes. So we have volunteers that come out every morning through the year and in the summer and spring months and mow those for us. So it's unbelievable. Going back a little bit, talking about the First Tee in general, for folks that don't know, of course, everybody sees our kids on the golf course with clubs in hands playing the game, but one of the myths about the First Tee is that we are junior golf. We are absolutely not junior golf. We're youth development through the game. Again, explain to folks why it's so important that we make that differentiation between the two.
Well, it's about what the First Tee home office is called the life skill experience. You have beginning children that come in the player group. They learn how to appreciate the game, play it for a lifetime. Then you have the par level, where they learn about communication skills. Then you have the birdie level for middle school kids about setting goals. And then you have the eagle level, which is high school, about how to handle diversity issues and being healthy for life and establishing go-to plans for after school and into college. So that in itself should tell you this is not all about golf. It's about learning life experiences and developing young minds through the game of golf. Golf is just the vehicle. It'd be no difference if this was snow skiing, you know, or hockey.
Absolutely.
But golf, because of its inherent values of honesty and sportsmanship and integrity and confidence and my all-time favorite, perseverance, you got to keep trying. This is a hard game.
Absolutely.
Then you teach these life skills. So this is a fabulous way to do it. That's what makes the first tee so unique.
And it's amazing because all of the life skills that we're teaching kids on the golf course transfer to other areas of their lives, which is our big overall goal. And it's fun and seamless. Kids come here and they're learning those life skills while they're playing the game. They don't even realize that they're learning them most of the time. So that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Another myth that we hear a lot about the first tee is that it's Tiger's program. Could you help us dispel that myth?
Well, it goes back 12, 13 years when his dad was involved with the PGA Tour and Tim Fincham and those folks, and about doing something for youth and basically underprivileged youth. And that's where it kind of spawned from there. But then Tim Fincham and some of the power brokers of the golf industry, the PGA and, of course, Augusta National, took the idea and said, okay, let's make it for everybody. And that's what's happened. So Tiger's own foundation and his own youth development is his own thing. The first tee is a separate entity from that. So that's the confusion. And this program, the first tee worldwide, is for all youth, ages 7 to 17. It doesn't matter where they come from. We want every child to have an opportunity to learn these life experiences through the game of golf.
And that's the third myth. It's not just for at-risk youth. The values and the life skills that we're teaching apply to every single young person in today's society.
I think one of the fun things I have with it is the life skill component that we have can be used and is supposed to be used through school, at home, and everywhere.
Absolutely.
And I integrate that with the kids. For instance, the four R's, relax, replay, ready, and redo. I use that, and I say, okay, now your mom told you to pick your socks up. Now we're out on the golf course now. Pick your socks up, and don't leave them in the floor. And instead of shouting back and saying something bad to your parent, replay in your mind that, hey, she did tell me 2 days ago I need to move these socks. Relax, take a deep breath, and do what you're supposed to do. And that is a teachable moment and the coachable moment right there as you're on the golf course waiting to hit a shot, or you're just talking and empowering that youth to think about it.
Absolutely. And I think the fun thing is that it can apply to adults too. I know you and I find ourselves using those life skills a lot.
Absolutely.
STAR, for example, stop, think, anticipate, respond. It's not just something that the kids can learn.
Right.
It's something that adults can put into use
Absolutely.
too.
And as we train the volunteers and the coaches to buy into that and understand it, then they have a little better time of giving that program to the kids at that different level. And because they use it, now they have a name to it. So it's very important.
I think another thing that speaks volumes to Brunswick County and the community here is the fact that almost 100% of our budget, 100% of what we raise comes right here from our very own community, which again, talking about the myths of the first tee, that's the fourth myth usually, is that we are funded from the first tee home office or from other major national organizations. That's not true for us. Almost 100% of what we have comes right here from Brunswick County through the player card, through our golf tournament, through the golf ball. How does that compare again to other chapters that you've been to? Can you tell us the difference that you see in the community support and what that means?
Well, here it's unbelievable. In Texas and New Orleans, we had to go out and solicit those checks and do mail-outs and go and speak to the community and all that, because we didn't have that volunteer base who was already out in the community. And not having a facility too means a lot. So by having those connections and then having the connections with the elementary schools that we have here, which we didn't have at the other two first tees, that helps too, because now you've got parents. And so if you want to just write a check and send us a check, that's what it's about.
Absolutely, absolutely. You bring up another point. We have a phenomenal relationship with our school system. There's 10 elementary schools in the county. All 10 are involved in what the home office calls the National School Program, and that puts curriculum, education, and equipment in the PE classes. We've taken that a step above and beyond that. We also have School Day program, which is where the 4th and 5th graders from across the county are getting on the school bus during the school day 9 times out of the year, and they're coming to our facility, to Magnolia Greens or to St. James for programming. I think it speaks volumes about the program that teachers are giving up almost 20 hours of instructional time. When those yellow school buses pull up and you see those kids jump off the bus, what does that mean to you as our program director?
Success. It means success. And to watch those young boys come out and put their shirt tails in, and they walk up and they shake hands with the coaches and they meet and greet. You know, they're showing that respect, which is part of the first tee code of conduct. And then they gather, we go over the lesson plan, and they're engaged for that hour and a half.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Martin Sludds, and I'm here at the Big Cats course in Ocean Ridge Plantation. One of the great things about playing on the tour was the access it gave me both to playing with some of the great players, but also the opportunity to converse with them. And in the course of the years, I had some wonderful conversations, but one that really comes to mind was while I was playing in the last round of the British Open with Curtis Strange while he was world #1. And it was a great experience for me. But coming up the last hole, I asked Curtis what I thought I should do with my game, and his response quite surprised me, because I was expecting to suggest something to do with my golf swing or my approach to the game or how I went about it. But what he said to me was, he said, regardless of who you work with on your swing, a swing analyst or a keep fit person or a dietitian or whatever, only you know what makes you work on a fundamental level. And it got me thinking that, you know, you've got to be very honest in your assessment in your own game. And where you work, regardless of who you're working with, only you really know what makes you work at a very deep level. So how do I actually apply this to your everyday golfer? And I think from a lot of golfers I play with in Pro-Ams, they either do two things. They either take articles out of golf magazines and they try to apply them to their own games, or they try to do 5 or 6 things at the one time, which is now impossible. And golf is learned in a layering fashion, where we try to do 1 or 2 things in a successful manner, and we build on top of one another. And how we do it is we learn to do it in the practice area by ourselves, we take it to the course by ourselves, we do it in the context of a social game, and then we do it with a card in our hand. And if we try to go from the house to the car park to the golf course, it generally kicks us in the teeth. She's a relentless mistress as golf. So I think from that we want to learn, when we're trying to learn the game, find somebody whose philosophy you actually trust and believe in, and not only get them to tell you what you're trying to do, but why. And when you understand why, remember that it will take time to learn, but to be patient in your process and learning, and go about it in a long-term fashion, right? Rather try to correct it overnight. I hope this has been of help to you. Thank you.
Coming up in Brunswick County Golf. The First Tee of Brunswick County will be holding its 2nd annual golf ball. The event will be held Saturday, February 25th at 101 Stone Chimney Place in Supply. Cocktail hour begins at 5 p.m. and dinner is served at 6. There will be dancing and live entertainment to follow, along with a silent auction and 50-50 drawing. The event is black tie optional, and all net proceeds benefit the First Tee of Brunswick County Scholarship Fund. Tickets are $75 per person, and sponsorships and individual tickets are available. For more information or to purchase tickets, contact the First Tee of Brunswick County at 910-754-5288 or visit thefirsttbrunswickcounty.org. The Brunswick County 55 and older senior golf program is in full swing for 2012. February 21st, seniors can play at Cape Fear National Golf for $45. Sign-in begins at 8:30 a.m., followed by a shotgun start at 9:30 a.m. Price of ticket includes cart fee, green fees, and prizes. Cart attendance tip is not included in price. A tournament is also scheduled March 21st at Lockwood Folly Country Club. Sign-in begins at 8 a.m., followed by a shotgun start at 9 a.m. Cost of entry is $40 and includes cart fees, green fees, cart attendance, and prizes. On March 29th, senior golfers can experience a day of golf at Bald Head Island for just $85. Price includes ferry transportation, cart fee, green fees, and box lunch. Registration deadline is March 1st. Briarwood Golf Club will be hosting the Brunswick Gator Senior Games qualifiers for those participating in the 2012 Gator Games. The registration packet must be completed by March 9th to play in the tournament. On May 23rd, seniors can play a tournament at Oak Island Golf for just $40. Price includes cart fees, green fees, cart attendance, and prizes. Sign-in begins at 8 a.m., followed by a 9 a.m. shotgun start.